Hi everyone, it's Maggie and I am here with my latest Doily album, and it's also a design team project for KS4U, and I'll put a link to the stores in there. And before I forget, I just want to remind everyone, and for anybody that may not know, KS4U on Zibbit and their web store is having a 40% off store sale store-wide, and the flowers are already 20% off, so you get 60% off total for the flowers. And that's good from now until February 16th. So let's get to my Doily mini album. And excuse me. First, I should say I got these beautiful doilies from Michelle Scott. Hi, Michelle. And she sent me enough to make this doily album. And I wanted to do a fairy one. And actually, I think these might be the largest doilies I've used. I think they're 7.5 inches wide, and I just love this size. And they're so hard to find, so I can't thank Michelle enough for sending these to me. So this is the first image on the cover, and I just love it. And I wanted to keep it monochromatic. So I just took all the cream and beige from the picture. Also, I want to say that each page, I also wanted to use the embroidered tulle pieces, the wide pieces, to make it almost like, you know, it flows into like a dress, I guess. I've done this before, and I will do it again because I just love the look. It just fills it out beautifully. So I'm just going to show you the highlights because there's so much, I put so much detail into this. This took me like 3 weeks or maybe even a little more to do. Not all the time, but, you know, in between. So I just think I did a little bit more detailing than I sometimes do in some of my doily albums. So I used this trim here, and there's little, if you can see the little tiny pearls, I added those individually to each middle of each little, I call them little daisies. And so that alone took a while. Let's see, this here is a trim that I cut down. Excuse me, and these are tea dyed, and I added rhinestones to the bottom of each flower. But I think it's a tulip type of, or not tulip, morning glory, a morning glory type of flower. And then this is just a flower applique that was tea dyed, and then I added this bridal collar. It's an applique, but it's you know, shaped into a collar. And then underneath I added one dangle, which is champagne color, and then this tulle, which I believe was Craft Supplies for You. So that's the front of the book. And then on the side, I put it together with seam binding, and I just used a chain with a few little dangles and charms. I think this came off of, I had altered a bottle like several years ago, and for some reason, I don't know what I did wrong, but the color started fading from it and went back to the white gesso. It's like the colors, the inks and everything that I used, the sprays, just disappeared. So I took this off, a few pieces off, and this was one of them that was around the neck of the bottle, and I added that to the side. And then I'll show you the back. And I always keep the back on the simple side in case it's just going to lay flat somewhere. And here's another embroidered tulle trim. This is an applique here, and I used several doilies. I just laid them on top of each other, and then this large rhinestone piece there. So then when you open it up, the first page here is a pocket page, and this is a Craft Supplies for You wide panel lace that I tea-dyed, and then I added these little daisy flowers and the acrylic flower with the rhinestone on top of that. And then this is an applique that I had tea-dyed, and this I used orange, and I believe it's orange spice. It's a flavored tea, and it came out like a silvery gray. I used it on several different pieces, and I got a different color on almost each one. And then this trim here is from Craft Supplies for You, this little flower trim. This is one of the flowers I make out of the trims from KS4U, the different flower trims that you cut individually, and a little clay flower in the middle. And I used one of the dangles from KS4U that I also tea-dyed. And then here's the next image, and she's all in white. I did add a little more of that flower trim around it, just to, that's the only color besides adding, I cut pieces from it and added it to this trim here. And then here's more KS4U trim, and this is a KS4U tool trim. And I've had them for a while, so you'll have to check to see if they're still in the shop. And then this is a bridal applique with pearls that I put on the bottom. And then this is a trim from my stash that I cut the flowers out. This is a KS4U trim that I individually cut the pieces off, and I added the little acrylic flowers. And then I added some leaves that I had cut off another trim here and here. And then this is the middle two pages. This is pink, and I used different pinks. This is a KS4U dangle, beaded dangle trim. And this is more of the trim that on the other side that I had put the little pink flowers in the middle. This is a trim from my stash, the pink. And then another flower, and another flower that I made out of trims from the store. Let's see, I cut the leaves. This is a leaf trim from my stash. And these flowers I've had for a long time. They're from Julie, the Thrifty Paper Garden. And the colors just went perfectly, and especially with the little gold in there. And I just added this trim here, which is part of this trim I cut off, went around the image, and then went around with the little flat back pearl trim, which is also KS4U. And then this page is, it's mainly purple, but it has some lavender. It has a little bit of brown here and here. So I added this brown dangle trim from my stash just to bring out the brown. This is a KS4U trim, and it comes in this color. And I don't know how it's going to come across the camera, but it's a kind of almost like a bluish gray with purple undertones. And then this is another trim from KS4U. It's clear beads. And then there's this trim that I had used, that orange spice tea. And this is a piece of an applique here. And I added this piece from my stash to just bring out the purple, and the purple trim going around. I'm not sure if Julie has any left of this, but there is some type of purple. It might be a lighter color that she has still in the store. And then this is also a KS4U trim that I just cut the individual pieces to look like leaves. And then the next page is a flower page. And there's a couple of doilies underneath the flower. This is the main flower. And this is a Trisha, a little shabby chic, one of her no sew, no glue flowers. And I added this KS4U dangle rhinestone piece for the middle. And then these flowers here are flowers. This one, I'm not sure. I think Amy made it for me. And then these two flowers are from trims. And then there's an applique underneath, but you really can't see that. And then here's another bridal collar here with the dangle pearls. This is the, let's see, this is the larger peacock lace in the store. I left it white, and then you can see that the other trim from the other page. And then this is the last page, and I love this page. I love the image and the soft colors. All the flowers and applique that goes around the image is all tea dyed with that orange spice. And I got a couple of different, there's a little bit of lavender in there. And this trim, I believe Julie still has some of that in her store. Here's another piece of that other trim from the store. I added a lot of the little acrylic flowers. This is just a flower applique from my stash, and a rhinestone piece in the middle. And then this is a butterfly pin, and this is in the store also. I've used this a couple of times, and I just ordered more of it for my DT package because I just love it. And then here's another trim, and I added more acrylic flowers. And then underneath is another dangle trim from the store. And then this is the smaller peacock lace in the store. And this I had tea dyed too, and I got like a silvery color from it. And then underneath all that is this wide embroidered tulle, and this I'm not sure if it's in the store or if it was from my stash, but you can always check it out. And then we're back to the last piece again. So that's it. This is my first project for February. I absolutely love it. And if you saw the title, it is for sale, and you can email me if you're interested. And I'll be back with another project soon. So bye for now.